Welcome back, folks, to the 2026 season for the YDF League. This is my first broadcast, and you can expect monthly broadcasts throughout the season and hopefully into the playoffs. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk draft and week one. All right, draft time. I think the draft went really well. It was a lot of fun to draft with you guys. Thanks, Lane, for hosting the draft party. It was really good. I'm glad a lot of the Houston guys got to make it out there and have a good time in draft as a collective. Not that it helped any of your teams, but I'm glad y'all had that chance to do that. I think my team is perfect. I think we executed the plan perfectly as an ownership room. We executed the plan. We got the guys that we wanted. I mean, Ashton Genty, Bucky Irving, Nico Collins in the first 3 rounds. Can you really ask for anything more? I mean, the only blemish is Tajay Spears in the 10th. He's already on the IR, but that's a handicap for me, and it makes it more fair for the rest of the league. But things could be worse. We could be Brian's team. Brian auto drafting the best team he's had in years, and it's still being trashed is something only Brian could do. No one does it like him, man. He really has an art form of drafting poorly. Really does. But love you, Brian. Congrats on the baby. But Brees Hall in the second. Let's just get real. That's crazy work. We also had the battle of the bots between Austin and Max. Looking forward to seeing who comes out on top. Whose AI model, whose zeros and ones can out 0 and 1 the other. Let's see. Even some of their jokes seemed a little bit like AI. I mean, using Grok in 2025 to build up your draft team is crazy work. But hey, we love to see it. Another interesting part of the draft, at least as I saw it, was Misha's team. Misha has a really good team. Honestly, like looking at this, I can't really poke too many flaws on it. But he couldn't help himself. He got Rome, got Luther Burden. This guy loves the Bears, man, and you can always count on that in most drafts. Anyway, the boy Danny, the champ. Can't believe this guy drafted the Philadelphia Eagles defense the same round that Brian Monk's auto drafted Caleb Williams. That tells you a lot about the Chicago Bears offense and this defense. It's a bold move. Let's see if it pays off. Lane, can't forget about Lane. Drafting Kyler Murray got his grubby little hands on him again. Lane loves this guy for some reason. He's gonna love him until COD drops in October. So he'll be good for the first 6-7 weeks, and then he'll fall off a cliff. But it's a great draft, and the rest of your teams are irrelevant. So we'll get into week one predictions next. All right, folks, the week one schedule has been posted. Let's see who's a favorite, and let's see who's going to go 0-1. We got your boy, Uncle Nico, against Brian Monks, Team B Monks 9. Great name, Brian. We're heavy favorites, as to be expected. I think Brian's starting Quinshawn Judkins, but I'm not sure if college points transfer to the NFL. So we'll see how that works out. We got Max, a favorite over Lane. Lane might complain and have us replay the match if he loses, so we'll see how that works out. Danny against Patrick should be a good one. Heavy favorites here as well. Jesse, the newcomer, against Evan, long time standing league member. Jesse, your team is actually quite bad as well. I didn't talk about it in the draft section. This team is bad and you should feel bad. Josh against Jeremy should be a good one. And my personal favorite matchup of the week, the matchup of the week. This is Sunday Night Football. This is prime time. We got Austin, we got Mish. Two of the teams I think are pretty good in this league based on how the draft went. One of these guys is going to go 0-1. They're going to be behind the 8 ball from week one. This is going to be exciting. Let's see how it plays out. Fantasy's back. I'm looking forward to seeing how all of this plays out. And now let's get to what everybody wants to hear about. Let's address the elephant in the room. A week ago, Austin came for me and my take that Matt Schaub really probably isn't a top 10 QB even in those 2009 to 2012 years. Is number one. Number two, about my Jalen Hurts comparing to Aaron Rodgers take. It's two takes, two discussions. Let's dive into it, and we'll start with the Matt Schaub case. Matt Schaub. Who cares? I honestly never want to talk about this guy ever again. Like, ever. He's irrelevant. Austin bringing up Matt Schaub and his passing yards is irrelevant. I don't care that he had a lot of yards that one time in 2009. He led the league in passing yards that year. Great job, Matt. The Texans must have been great that year. Must have had resounding success, right? No, they didn't even make the playoffs. But hey, that's not all Matt Schaub's fault. He threw all those yards for regular season wins, which is important, but regular. They're regular season wins. And the fact that Austin wants to put this guy in the top 10 and laud him and applaud him and, you know, make him seem like he was so great. He was mediocre. He gets a participation trophy, and that's it. And what you're doing by putting him on a pedestal is un-American. Honestly, it's un-American, man. You need to stop it. It's not cool. It's just not. Matt Schaub is an all-right QB with decent stats over his best years. From 2009 to 2012. That's 4 seasons. He was hurt in 2011, granted. That's 4 seasons. He won one against who, you ask? The Red Rocket Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals. It's looking dark for this guy. I gotta be real. And also, the year that he was hurt, the team was good and they did go to the playoffs. TJ Yates, as Austin mentioned, won them a playoff game. Guess who TJ Yates beat? The Cincinnati Bengals. Again, guys, who cares? None of that matters. None of it. The fact that Matt Schaub has as many playoff wins in his career as TJ Yates tells you the category of player that he belongs in the discussion of. He belongs in the discussion with TJ Yates. He belongs in the discussion with Kirk Cousins. You know, maybe a Justin Herbert for the modern day. Josh Freeman, who I think had more passing yards than he did in 2012. Go figure. But I'm sure Austin will love that. I'm sure Austin will claim that Josh Freeman was a top 10 QB in 2012. Sure, man. You know, he's smoking Jay Cutler. That's his level, you know? And I just don't understand. I guess when Austin was growing up, you know, the Texans were bad. And he saw a Texans QB throwing for a lot of yards. And he said, wow, that must be really cool. You know, he has posters on his wall now and he's defending him to whoever will listen. But he had so many yards. He had so many yards. Bro, who cares? He had one playoff win. You know? One playoff win in his career. Not just in those prime, in his career. One playoff win. How good can you be? I have to be honest. Like, how good can you really even be? So, hey, man, we all have our favorite players. You know, me, growing up, I was watching Brett Favre. I was watching Aaron Rodgers. Some real ballers. You know, some real people that were winning games. And, you know, the city knew their name because they were real ballers who won games that actually mattered. When the lights were the brightest, that's when they would play their best ball. Matt Schaub, in his playoff win in in that playoff run in 2012, he threw for 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But hey, I guess it is a team game. But Matt Schaub contributed 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. Interesting. Again, this is the last I want to ever talk about Matt Schaub. Anything else I hear about this is falling on deaf ears, crickets from me. There you go. All right, and yet again we have Austin slandering my name, saying that I said that I'd rather have Jalen Hurts than Aaron Rodgers. I simply never said that. That's a lie, and I want an apology. I never once said I'd rather have Jalen Hurts over prime Aaron Rodgers. That's just not true. Austin is referring to a conversation that we had this year, and I was referring to the fact that I would rather have Jalen Hurts currently in 2025 than Aaron Rodgers now in 2025. That's really what I'm saying. And we can probably compare their playoff careers, and Jalen Hurts probably isn't too far behind in terms of playoff wins, unfortunately. That's really what I was talking about. I think that it's important to win playoff games, and getting to a Super Bowl means a lot. I mean, it's better than not getting there. I mean, right? I mean, just Josh Allen hasn't even gotten there. I mean, that's kind of crazy. So that's really what I was talking about, not prime Aaron Rodgers. He was a great, great player. And Aaron Rodgers brought me a title in 2010. And honestly, man, I'll be forever grateful. That was dope. That was what a rush, what a feeling. I think that was the year that he said that they're gonna run the table, and they ran the table, bro. He was that guy in 2010. He was really talking the talk and walking the walk. I mean, doing it all on the road. In Philly, in Atlanta, in Chicago, and then to beat Pittsburgh. I mean, what a run, honestly. Great QB, slightly overrated, but hey, whatever. He's one of my goats, that's for sure. But since Austin wanted to kind of quote to you guys some poetry he heard in the 8th grade, and also that suit jacket looked like it fit you back in the 8th grade too. It was so tight. What was that about, dude? Let me buy you a new suit jacket since you want to buy me a new router. So there's that. But yes, to end this whole stream, to end this whole video, whatever, I'm gonna leave you with the quote from Vince Lombardi: "Winning isn't everything; it's the only thing." Good luck to everybody for this season.